Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanity Books. Today in Writing Tips, we're taking a look at Jim Carrey, Make It Personal. There is a lot to look at his life and success, and there are a lot of different writing tips that you can learn from. Even though he may be an actor, there are some other writing things that he has done, and there are different creative ideas that you can take from someone who has succeeded. For now, we'll just get into it. Number 1. Visualize success. Did you know that Jim Carrey wrote a check to himself for $10 million? This was an interesting motivational point to having a goal to set in some of the successful movies that were coming in the 90s. With this goal, it was a realistic goal that he set that was not so hard to obtain for himself. So within your writing journey, set out some goals that are obtainable and also challenging at the same time. There are business people who do say you can't succeed past your wildest ambitions. If you want to make $100 million, you need to set that type of goal, but you're not going to make $101 million. You may cross over that line and you may not, but you can't succeed your wildest expectations. So visualize what success is to you. Number 2, tradition and creativity. There are different traditional paths that are in place within your creativity. Jim Carrey understood what rules are in place and what regulations are there. Though, with the creativity, he tested those boundaries to come with exceeding certain expectations that were put there, which made some of his characters a lot more memorable. And if you are writing certain characters, think about what makes that character unique to stand out the test of time, to be remembered well after the time they're first released and published. Number 3, maintain a sense of wonder. Jim Carrey goes back into that childlike essence of his characterization. And one thing that he thinks about with this is to go back to the past of what does work, what has worked and succeeded before. But it's that sense of wonder of the creativity to allow the stories to unfold. But also within the appreciation, if you're writing, for an example, a Christmas story, you go into the essence of what it's like to be childlike, to the essence of the story unfolding, the sensations, the feelings. Use the 5 senses, and that type of descriptive characterization goes a long way. And Jim Carrey does go back into that type of role time and time again to help spark the creativity.
Keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Number 4. Focus on the journey. This topic has come up more frequently, and this question. Yes, it is good to set goals for the future, and just in the previous point, it is good to reflect on certain points of the past to learn from. But ultimately, live in the present and enjoy what you love. And with that sense of what he has done with his success, Jim Carrey has enjoyed every role that he's done and every process, even if there were ups and downs. Just like with Tommy Lee Jones, how he felt towards him. They did have certain conflicts, but ultimately, Tommy Lee Jones went with his way of doing things, and Jim Carrey went with his way of doing things. So, there was no point to do another Batman movie, I guess.
This, and he went like to hug me, and he said, "I hate you. I really don't like you."
Number 5. Commit fully to your work and rest. Every time Jim Carrey did a role, whether it was a minor role within a movie, or at one stage he was known for 3 successful movies, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, and Ace Ventura. The time dedicated into those roles, he went and put all that effort into those roles, and a lot of hard work went in. He fully committed. Though after the time of being fully committed, he then had time to rest and recover, and was committed to that. There are other times of being committed to your family and other times being committed to your work. You just need to find that right balance to what works for you. Number 6, connect with people.
Look at him. He's stunned. He can't believe it.
Jim Carrey connects with a lot of people with the roles that he plays. One that I liked particular was Liar Liar. When you look at the courtroom scene and how he executes his lines,
I hold myself in contempt!
Why should you be any different?
Damn it, take him away.
Sometimes if you're wanting to put a certain point forward to connect with people, that's one way to go about it. And even though Liar Liar is a comedy, it touches on a lot of difficult subject matter. Though I do realise, in complicated subject matters like that, breaking down to the climax, sometimes to connect with the audience is to keep it simple.
This man is a good father, and children are not leverage! Oh no, don't do that!
Number 7, stay humble. Jim Carrey, as much as he has been tested through a lot of depression, and yes, sometimes getting into certain roles will cause depression, like with the movie Number 23, Man on the Moon, there are different points of being humble amongst your fellow man. And I think with a lot of the different work that he's done over the years, he has remained relatively humble. Yes, I do find sometimes some of his comedy can be a little bit overboard, but who cares? Sometimes you just have to enjoy life and not care about all the naysayers with all the negativity that goes on. Sometimes you might do that with your writing. Sometimes you will write a book that people don't like, and you'll write a book that people do like. You just find out what's right for you. Number 8, nature and solitude. There is always a lot to benefit by getting out in nature and having some time for solitude. Myself, I love where I live, and I do a lot of worm farming and grow a lot of food. I also just love the solitude nature of not being around the big city. I don't live that close to a major city, but I like where I am. If I need to travel to the big city, I do, and I am grateful to always come back. Jim Carrey is the same exception. When you work hard, he worked hard and dedicated to what he did, but when he rested, he dedicated to his rest. So always finding that balance is just part of the process, and the same applies for writing, acting, and a lot of other professions. Sometimes you need to work out to take that time out and enjoy life. Number 9, same but different character. A lot of his characters are not the same. He does a lot of different roles, and it's that type of diversity within characterization that I do enjoy. Now, on that sort of note, yes, Ace Ventura was a sequel where he was the same character, though there were some differences from the first movie and environmental differences for the second film. So some of the change was good for the characterization to not be repetitive and boring. Looking forward, I am looking forward to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and what Robotnik is going to be. I wasn't keen on Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik within the first film, though I did enjoy it.
In a sequentially ranked hierarchy based on level of critical importance, the disparity between us is too vast to quantify. Agent Stone?
The doctor thinks you're basic.
What he did for the character for the second film, there were a lot of differences.
Earth is my turf, G.
If you don't know how to floss, you'll be lost without me.
I understand nothing of what you just said.
Now, I'm curious with the next approach. Because of the differences, I can see some of the familiar Jim Carrey comedy, and I can also see something vastly different. You decide. Number 10. Number 1 piece of advice. Make it personal. Personal investment in your work can yield more passionate and meaningful outputs. Within your writing journey, be passionate about what you do. And if you are collaborating on a project that you don't quite enjoy, or you do end up later on having conflicts of interest, these things will happen. But within the journey, enjoy what you love. And you may come in towards some crossroads that aren't so nice, just like Jim Carrey has with different conflicts. Though, you move on to the next project, and you put your passion into that project. But make it personal, make it your own. And the same with the characterization. Even if you are a person who edits stories, make it your own. If you do artwork and illustrations, make the artwork your own. Work within your collaborations and create some wonderful stories and art. Otherwise, that's it for today. Hit like, subscribe, and comment. I'll be doing some more writing tip videos on different characters and different celebrities, but that's another story.